Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Engelgeist. My name is Daniel, and I am here to do a pick a card for you. The pick a card is what is our prominent body, and what I mean by that is what sort of area in our world, like our body, do we use most? And I know that sounds kind of weird, but what I'm meaning is, do we use our mental body, our emotional body, our physical body, or our spiritual body? Like, where is most of our emphasis? Where do we put most of our attention? Which body? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But so I have 4 piles set up here. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. We have pile number 1 here, which is the ladybug. We have pile number 2 here, which is the peacock. We have pile number 3 here, which I'm not exactly sure what this creature is. It's like a cat badger. It's really random. And we have pile number 4, which is turtle. So you guys take a moment, take a deep breath, maybe close your eyes, and just pick whichever pile your most, your intuition draws you towards, like when you reopen your eyes. And we'll discover which sort of body is your prominent body: your mental, your emotional, your physical, or your spiritual. Okay, so I'll get started now with pile number 1. The timestamps will be in the description. Okay, all right. So for pile number 1, you guys chose the ladybug. Here's the ladybug. Little cute. She's got a little attitude like, oh no, she didn't. Head, neck, swivel. Let's see what cards are in there. So first we have the star card, one of my favorite cards of the deck. We have logic reversed and fortune. Interesting. But logic reversed, I wonder how that happened. Okay. So what I'm gonna say is, I feel like this is more of the spiritual bodied right out of the gate. I'm going to say that because you guys lead with this star card, and this star card is all about compassion. She's centered in the spiritual realm. This is Kuan Yin, who's an ascended master. This is a major arcana card, so I think it trumps sort of. There's also 2 major arcana cards in here, which is kind of impressive for out of 3 tarot cards. But she is centered in the universe, and she is spiritually like in touch with the outer reaches of the universe, if that makes sense. So I don't necessarily think that you guys need to like sort of work on anything spiritually per se. I think that you guys are very connected. You shine bright. You know what you want. You know what you need. You probably meditate. I would suspect people in this group would meditate or be spiritually inclined. You might read cards. You might be empathic. But definitely psychic in some sort of way, or high intuition and knowingness. And when I look at the second card, which is the logic card reversed, to me, I don't necessarily take into account reversal meanings, but I'm going to with this because it's rare that my cards come up reversed. I feel like it's almost like, because the star card is so spiritual, when you guys get caught in logic, this card is telling me, do not let your logical mind bog you down. Sometimes you can be critical, or other people that are too logical actually hurt you in some way. These feel sharp to me as I'm looking at them. And it feels like if you're in your star and you're shining, I feel like people sometimes come along. Crystals is the mental card. And normally this card would feel very like balanced to me, with the 4 legs, like 4 legs on a table, like grounded, the 4, equal emotions. But this, to me, it being inverted, says to me that people that get too logical, or when you get too logical, like say too much in your mental body, it gets sticky for you. It gets kind of painful. It almost goes against everything that you kind of know to be true, which is this sort of more spiritual, metaphysical knowingness, right? You can't necessarily, I feel like people in this group don't necessarily know how to logically prove what they know to be true, but what they know to be true is true on a very deep spiritual level. So when you guys find yourself around people that tend to be too logical or try and say, oh no, you can't do that, or that's not how that works, that's just not going to happen, it kind of causes you pain, or it makes you doubt yourself, to where these edges of these crystals become sharp and they actually like sort of bring in emotional feelings that sort of you have to work through or deal with, and you lose your star center. Now, being more aware of that, I feel like you have this fortune card here, which says to me that with this star energy, if you guys were to balance and upright this logic card and correct this problem with this logic, where maybe you find like a harmonization or something. I don't even know if harmonization is a word, but if you can find harmony between your mental self, your logical brain, and your spiritual self, and bring them into balance, I feel like fortune is definitely in the cards for you guys. It feels like all you have to do, I look at this hand, and sometimes this hand feels like, stop, it's too much, but to me this feels like the hand is reaching out and grabbing just at all sorts of things that it can create. We have like, diamonds and roller coasters and fun and excitement. There's all sorts of different things here in this card. But I think it really needs to be a marriage between this spiritual self and this logical mental self. Right now, if I felt that this group lacked anything, because I think that your strong, prominent body is the spiritual, excuse me, your inability to connect to mental logic without sort of dimming your spiritual shine of this star, right? But if you were to upright this card and become more stable in mental logic, or be able to be more stable when other people use their logic with you and not allow it to undermine your spiritual nature, you would find that this fortune, a transformation would take place, like this butterfly here in the center of the card, and your fortune would greatly change, right? This is the Wheel of Fortune in other decks. So it's similar to that, where it can go either way. If we're suffering and we're in pain and this card is upside down and we're not in our star energy, we're not really creating experiences we want. We're creating experiences that cause us pain or self-doubt. And let's face it, even though everybody is spiritual, not everybody acknowledges the spiritual. So you guys are sort of like the how do I want to put it? Like the minority in the world. And so we need you to be spiritual and be in your star power, and to be balanced with a logical, to have a balanced relationship with also the logical mind and what is logic, so that the marrying of the two can bring about this fortune, which is really an incredible card. So now I also pulled a couple of cards from two other decks, just to kind of give like a little bit of insight from spirit in regards to stuff. So this is self-sabotage. So this is for group one. You guys are my more spiritual prominent body. Self-sabotage. When you learn to get out of your own way, there will be no stopping you. Most of the time, it's not others who prevent you from achieving your true goals. It's that inner voice that derails those carefully woven plans. So again, I feel like that's that inverted logic card. It's that mind voice that tells us, oh no, we can't be the star that we actually truly are. It's like society tells us, or we live by sort of belief systems or societal rules that we've inherited just being born into this world, and we don't really see ourselves as we truly are. And it's interesting here, when I look at this card, you see all this white light at her chest? It's like it is the star energy, and she's covering her eyes and unable to see it. These flowers almost look like that fortune that wants to pour forth in that fortune card. Once we get out of our own way and we find that marriage between our logical mental self, our mental body, and our spiritual body, we really kind of actually free everything up, and we're able to let go of this self-sabotage. So be aware of self-sabotage in this group. Be aware of your thinking. Be aware of when you start to diminish your own shine by your own thoughts or the thoughts of others, when you allow those thoughts to come in and sort of affect how you are, how you behave. Now let me look here. I pulled one last card. This is an Angel Insight Pack card. This is Ascension. Oh my God, you guys. Look at how beautiful this card is. It's like, it's all about this angel going up and ascending up. This is totally the spiritual body. Oh, I'm so excited. So all the chakras are in line, the colors are bright and beautiful, they're all perfectly around the aura, and the knowing is right here. Remember, you guys, there is a logic to the spiritual nature that you are. Trust that, know that this planet needs it more than anything in the world right now. And this beautiful card is here to tell you that what you do know spiritually and what you do know deep down inside in your heart or in your soul is true, even if it doesn't necessarily, you know, fit societal standards. Let go of that and shine and be beautiful. This is that star card. This is rising up and into the universe and bringing forth that knowledge that we know internally. Okay, this is a beautiful, beautiful group of people. And you guys really need to not cover your eyes to your own beauty. Okay, that's going to be key. So your prominent body is definitely the spiritual self. Now I'm going to do group 2. Group 2 has the peacock, the little peacock. So let me show you the peacock. And let's see what's in their cards. Sorry if you can hear my dog snoring in the background, but he's resting. So your first card is the 10 of Cups, which is passion. Your second card, wow, some of these are inverted today. This is so strange, and it's always the second card that's inverted. What is going on? Is Child of Cups, feeler. And the last one is 5 of Crystals, negativity. So the way that I'm going to say this is I think this is definitely my emotional-bodied people. And part of the reason why I say that is there's, first off, very obvious, there's 2 Cups cards here. And Cups deals with the emotions. This 10 of Cups talks about passionate people, like in the sense of pursuing one's passion. But I think that sometimes this card appears both positive and negative to me at times. I feel like this card, this group of people, the people that are choosing this group, you tend to be a little bit more on the volatile side. This card, to me, as I look at it, it feels a little bit volatile. It feels like this golden lion is you, and you have to defend your emotions a lot. Like, it almost feels to me like this group of people that may have chosen this are angry that they can't have their emotions the way that they want to. Like, they've always been told, oh, don't get mad, oh, don't cry, oh, don't feel this, oh, don't feel that. And part of that for me, or for this group, is that it feels like you have to protect yourself. You've like plated yourself in gold and taken this stance as the lion to be able to hold your space and grow. But in doing that, you've had to be aggressive in nature. And that's why we have all of this red here, is you've had to sort of like push through, and the one emotion that you're sort of maybe not necessarily allowed to have, but the one emotion that you probably find yourself going to the most is probably like frustration or anger with others. There is a green spot up in here, which makes me feel like some of this emotional stuff, as you do heal it, and you will, because this green is represented, it will have a bigger effect on you. Like, it'll have a better effect on you, and you'll become more in not that these are out of control. This card feels very controlled, but it feels like you guys are not allowed. Like, I'm definitely getting the hit that on this card that something in this group, there's a frustration or an aggravation because you guys are very much emotionally bodied, fixated people. You are very, and always being surrounded by people that say, oh, don't feel that way, or here, let me make you feel better, like almost negating how you feel and what you feel. Now, your second card is Child of Cups, feeler, which is upside down. And to me, this says, again, like we're being told by the outside world that our feelings are wrong, that we shouldn't be allowed to feel, that our feelings might be childish in some way, or not adult, not being emotionally responsible, or not like being professional in the workplace. Wherever like our emotions arise in situations where we're being told not to have them, this is how we feel, as we feel like our world gets turned upside down. But emotionally, we really are I feel like you really are emotional people, so you have to have your emotions, you have to have your feelings. We want to get this card upright into a place of joy and exuberance and being proud of who you are and how you feel, and not have to feel so defensive or frustrated with being told that you can't have your feelings. The last card is the 5 of Crystals, which is negativity. I feel like if we don't sort of rectify this problem and learn how to upright this card, this Child of Cups, and become more open to our own feelings and allow ourselves to have our feelings, we're going to, this negativity, it sort of solidifies and it starts to affect our mental space. And we become sort of judgmental, angry, and that's a lot of the aggravation that I was seeing in here. We take this aggravation or this anger and this group can like propel it forward to get things done. But I feel like what you guys really need to do is cool this off and get more into this place where it's more of a cooler, easier, more not socially acceptable, because this isn't about being accepted by society. This is about you accepting your emotions and then not stopping. Like this card inverted is like, okay, society says I can't have my emotions, so I'm angry. So I'm going to turn my emotions upside down and turn them off because I've been told I'm a child and I can't have them, right? But if we take them and we turn them upright and we start to feel good about them again and we allow ourselves to have them and treat ourselves as if we were a child, maybe even not in a bad way, but just be open to our emotions and open to what we feel and pardon my French, fuck what everybody else thinks. We avoid this card, which is the negativity card, which is the solidifying of these emotions into mental thought that actually becomes very negative, and it could put us on a sort of a downturned path where our experiences become more frustrating, more aggravating, and we get more of what's in this card, and we feel like we have to, plate ourselves in gold to defend ourselves and take this stance as like sort of the angry lion, like don't fuck with me, girls, you know what I mean? So that's what I see there for your guys' cards. Now, your message from Spirit card, let's see what that says. Vulnerability. This is confirmation that you're seeking to tread into the unknown, unfamiliar territory, where decisions are based more on intuition than rationality. Don't let fear hold you back or allow a misguided sense that feeling vulnerable is somehow a negative condition. And do you remember this feeler card here was inverted, where I was saying we turn it upside down and turn it off? I like this vulnerability card because do we see this heart space here? Do we see her light shining from her heart where our emotions dwell? Do we see that piece of green, that shade of green that I was seeing in this card up here that represented healing? This group definitely needs to allow yourselves to be vulnerable and have your feelings, talk about them, regardless of what other people think. Allow yourself to have it. Your emotional body is your prominent body. It's what you need to sort of heal and take care of and balance with the rest of the other three bodies so that you can be in your true power and be released. These shadows, these roots here feel like they're tying her back, but this leaf is growing, right? And it's part of these roots, it's part of these ties, these feelings that hold her back. It's all like part of one big mechanism. Do you understand? So when she grows the feelings, the roots can like break free and the light can come forth. Okay, and then let's look at your angel card. Your angel insight card is guidance. So allow your emotions to be your guide, like this beautiful angel here with the lamp. Your emotions are your guide. They are your powerful, prominent body. They are your gift to the world. If your emotions, you guys probably, I said in the first group that I thought the first group would be very sort of empathic. You guys are definitely probably on the empathic side too. Definitely emotional. But I would imagine that you guys are probably a lot of different empaths. Allow those emotions to guide you. Let them be that light. Let them be this light that's here in this vulnerability card. Start shining that light and bringing it forward. Stop like sort of putting it on hold or stuffing it because society or our loved ones or people around us tell us not to be able to, not to feel that way, or, oh, don't be upset, or, oh, here, let me fix that for you. Sometimes it's not about fixing it, it's about accepting it and feeling it, and then like owning it and learning it and just being where you're at in any given moment. So that's what this guidance card is telling me, is just allow your emotions to be your guide. Okay, I'm gonna now move on to group 3. So group 3, y'all are some freaky bitches, because if you pick the cat badger, you're weirdos. I don't even know what this is. It's like it looks like it's a really fat like bumblebee with like a cat face with like, I don't know if that's a tongue or a beard or a bow tie, and then it's got this flat paddle tail that swings around. He's really weird. I think that y'all are suspect for picking this pile. I'm just gonna say it right out of the gate. But you know what? We each are individuals, and Cat Badger's here to represent for those folks. All right. So let's look at what your first three cards are. So your first card is the Hanged Man. Interesting. Your second card is Fear, Seven of Cups, upside down. And your third card is Woman of Wands, Censor. This is so weird that the second card is coming up upside down in every pile. I don't know what I did, but okay, we'll go with it. So I'm gonna say this. I feel like you guys are more the physical body. Your prominent body is the physical. And part of the reason why I say that is the Hanged Man is always about sort of making decisions, like being caught between two decisions and choosing a path. And I feel like this is about like the physical world. I feel like this card represents sometimes as like violence. It can represent, I mean, in this deck, to me, when I look at this imagery, I think of drug addiction, alcoholism, violence, having walked a long road and maybe not found the answer completely yet. Having a rough past, this broken piece of glass makes me think of that. Having people that love us, that hold space for us, but they can't necessarily be around us because they don't know what to do for us. And this idea of this man hanging over this swirling thing of water, this swirling emotions, like potentially he could be putting his life down the toilet, right? So I sort of feel like this to me is a very physical card in the sense that like we've taken risks, we've been through heavy duty physical situations, we've been on a long journey to get to where we are, and we're still not quite there yet. I feel like people in this group might have had past issues with sort of addiction or alcoholism, violence, abuse, where you've taken sort of things on at a physical level that not many other people have experienced or could necessarily process. So to me, I feel like this is probably my physical group as your prominent body. The second card is the Seven of Cups, which is fear, but it's inverted. It's interesting to me because this card feels like it's trying to like hold on to everything that it can. But to me, it feels like you guys are more physical. This being a cups is like emotional, right? And fear is sort of like also can be a mental thought pattern. But I feel like you guys, because you're physical, you are sort of fearless and maybe even a little bit reckless. That's what this sort of feels like to me. Inverted, it feels like you guys are just like, oh, fuck it, this isn't gonna work. I think the cat badger, you guys, this group is like, y'all are daredevils. Like, I feel like you guys take risks, like physically, or you have in the past. You may not so much anymore. You might be a little bit more balanced now, but you found yourself in risky situations where your physical body has been like put to the test. It's gotten you through. I would even say I'm now like getting a mental image picture of some of you guys are like even like not super athletes, but like such dedicated athletes that you guys have like overdone it. Sorry, my dog's scratching in the background. Some of you guys have overdone it to the point of maybe self-harm, like you've hurt yourself in practice or like lifting too many weights or I'm not exactly sure, but that's what this card feels like to me. Is it's just like putting your body in a place of almost like not reckless abandon, but like you're just not fearful. You're not you don't heed any of that, right? Now, this last card is the Woman of Wands, which is a spiritual card and it's censor. And I feel like this is another reason why this is sort of more the more physical group is because this spiritual card here about sensing is, in the physical body, we have like all of our senses run through them, the touch, taste, smell. And so this makes me think of that sensor as like the five senses. But also I feel like our power or where we would balance some of this reckless nature that I see in these other two cards, or where we would understand our physical body, because I sometimes think the physical body is one of the most scarier bodies to have as a prominent body, because they are, even though they're strong, they're delicate in nature, and without them we can't have this experience, right? And so it is this sort of fear-driven thing, even for those of us that are more prominent to the physical body. Either we take it in one direction or the other. I think we either abuse the body, or we like to, try and master the body. And there's even some of those that are in an attempt to master the body, like say athletes or weightlifters or whatever, that they sort of become like, workoutaholics. and then they run the risk of injuries to their bodies and that sort of thing. So this sensor card to me says it'd be nice to get more into your senses, into your more spiritual self, and appreciate your body in a way, like allow it to really explore and enjoy the senses that it has, and to like sort of master that, come in control of that, become the woman of wands, or the queen of, this would basically be the queen of wands, like become in charge of your senses and all the beauty and experience that your body does provide for you, and understand at a really deep level how amazing that is, and what an opportunity that is. I think that you guys would greatly benefit from that. It would also bring a little bit of the spiritual in onto the physical body, because this is a spirit card. So I think that that would also help your relationship to your physical body. Let's look at your spirit message. Gratitude. Life is one big continuous circle of giving and receiving energy. Be thankful for who and what's in your life instead of complaining about what you don't have. If you focus on gratitude, you'll start to attract prosperity and abundance. It's funny because it's about like focusing on gratitude, right? Which is a mental or spiritual practice. But it also brings about prosperity and abundance, which would be material, which would be physical items. So I like this. I like that his hands are clasped together. I like that we have a big, I don't know. It seems like the focus to me is on his body, right? But then we have this white light here of the spirit kind of coming together with the hands in prayer or gratitude, and the two coming together to create something even better on the physical plane. So I think that this is definitely my physical group, and as a space of gratitude for those senses, like I was talking about in that Woman of Wands card. If we're grateful for our body and the things that we get to sense, and we start to find a place of appreciation for it, and bring in that spiritual gratitude for it, like, the opportunities for growth and abundance are endless, really. So here's your angel insight card. It is strength. So of course you guys are my physical group, because what is more physical than strength? I love where she's standing here. She's standing strong in this pose, like her legs are sort of spread out and she's grounded into the ground. Her arms are a little bit loose away from the body. There's a giant wind happening in the background, right? But she is strong against it, and she knows it. We need to, those of you in this place that have your prominent body as being the physical body, like I said, sometimes we're scared of our physical body. We don't fully understand how it functions, or what if it gets sick, or what if I break an ankle, then I have to stop and I have to slow down and my whole life slows and comes to an end. And if the body dies, I die, and all of that stuff that drives us at a primal level. I think it would be good for you guys to tap into the fact of seeing yourself not only from a place of gratitude, but also from a place of strength, from a place of being solid, beautiful, whole beings, and that your prominent body, your physical body, really is your attribute. You have things to teach people about how to be in their physical bodies, be it through sports or yoga or massage. I imagine that these are like things that you guys do or would enjoy or would have knowledge about, and not know where you had that knowledge come from, if that makes sense. Like, it would be more intuitive for you. So definitely realize how strong that you guys are, and that your prominent body really is an important part in all of this. Each aspect of these four bodies is an integral aspect of the human experience. Some of us have more prominence in each area, so we can teach others about that, that part of our total body. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, you guys. This was an inspired idea that came to me when I was in meditation, so I hope this makes sense. The last group is, let me just write this down, is number 4. This is the Tortuga Rosada, or the rose turtle. It's cute, right? Let's move him over to his group, and let's see what cards we have for you guys. Okay, so the first card is the Hermit. The second card is the Four of Wands. And the third card is the Four of Cups, which is anger. So when I look at this, the Hermit is major arcana, and when I look at this card, the Hermit is always about knowledge, like a deep sort of secret knowledge is always my take on it. All these hieroglyphs, this old Mayan statue, there's healing that happens here. There's like these crop circles. To me, this could be sort of a spiritual knowledge, but I'm gonna take you guys as the mental body. Because I don't think we've had a mental body yet. And I think that these cards do work for that. So let me just talk about this for a minute. So the Hermit, you guys tend to stay to yourself or keep your thoughts to yourself, but you have a fair amount of thoughts and a fair amount of knowledge of things. When I look at this Four of Wands, it's aspiration. And I look at it and it feels like this fist is kind of sticking out of the ground. This hand is sort of grasping at things. I feel like this is a spiritual card, but I feel like you guys are mentally aspiring to different things. Like you're always using your mind to find what's next. This group would be people that were like always thinking about, okay, where do I need to be to get to there in this amount of time? And so the aspiration is there. Even though this is a spirit card, I feel like you guys are mentally thinking about this stuff all the time, trying to work hard towards what it is you want. Although it's funny, I get a feeling because of this Hermit card, you guys don't necessarily not that you don't work with others, but you sort of, it's like your plan. Like you put it together, you thought it up, you've got it all sort of settled in your mind. And that's kind of why I feel like this is the people that deal in the mental body. Because it's like, it's sort of, you've got a clear idea of where you want to go with this aspiration. And with the Hermit, it's like you've got this secret knowledge that you don't necessarily share out with people. This last card is the Four of Cups, which is anger. And to me, this is an emotional card. But it's kind of funny because the way that I'm interpreting this is it feels like when people get in your way or get in the way of what it is you're thinking or how you're trying to be, what it is you're aspiring to, this fist kind of comes out like, oh, hell no. And then this anger sort of comes forth from your thought processes. I feel like this is why you guys sort of hermit away, is because the rest of society doesn't think like you or doesn't operate the way you do. And so it frustrates the shit out of you and you get really frustrated and you start, like, you hit your breaking point. And then because you are so mental, you get emotional and you get angry or frustrated. And when you show that, you feel like you've let yourself down. You've given away some of your secret thoughts about people, and that pisses you off. Like, that almost makes you more mad than the actual act of whatever it was that got screwed up in the first place. Does that make sense? So I feel like you guys are definitely more in the mental body, always kind of dwelling in your mind, somewhere far away in your mind, trying to figure things out and aspiring to where you're going to be, struggling to maybe get there. When people don't get it or people aren't as dedicated as you or don't think the way you think, you find yourself as frustrated with them. You might find yourself blowing up at them or getting upset with them. And when you do, you kind of get even more upset with yourself for having given away some of this, awareness of what it is you really think about folks. Does that make sense? So this is my mental body group for sure. This is the message from Spirit for you guys. You are not alone. We are here for you. And that's funny because you guys had the Hermit card. You are not alone. We are here for you. We never left. Through all the sadness and loneliness, however, you cannot sense us near you or feel how much love we are sending you. We are your family, friends, and guides. You never walk alone. We walk right beside you. Now, I want to bring back this Hermit card because remember I said that there was some healing here. And there's this loneliness that we feel like we maybe have had to detach and live in our own mental thoughts. That's where we've become prominent in our mental body. We've had to work for everything that we want. That's that aspiration card that I was talking about. But this card here is saying that you don't have to hermit away into your thoughts. You don't have to hide away, and that you are supported. Some of you have been through rough experiences that have had you, like, sort of forced you to go back into your mind and find, I don't know, reasons for why, or better ways to adapt, better ways to deal with life and look at things through a different sort of filter, so to speak, so that you can get along in life. But this card is here to remind you that you are not alone. There is Spirit around to help you. Spirit will help you with that anger card. Spirit will help you with your frustration. Spirit can also help you to ease your mind when you're struggling, or with that aspiration card of trying to feel like you're trying to get ahead, because this is a Spirit card. And even though you're struggling, right? And like pushing this hand is like grabbing this, she's searching with the Statue of Liberty, sort of searching with this light. We're trying to find our way to whatever it is that we think that we want, that we've been thinking on so hard with our mental body. We are not alone. So if we turn on that sort of spiritual connection a little bit, that will help balance things. The frustration will become less. We might actually be able to come a little bit out of that hermit space and actually connect to others and allow them in a little bit to feel more connected to our human beings, you know, as a part of humanity, and enable their help for us to get to where we want to go, to those aspirations, so we don't have to struggle so hard. I love how she's holding this over his heart. So that's my interpretation of that, my reading on that. And then here's your angel card. Archangel Raphael. This is all about healing, guys. I mean, look at how green he is. And Archangel Raphael is the angel for healing. I love that he has this giant book, though, because to me this makes me think of the mental body. I mean, it's probably like a book of medicine, but it is, you know, like he's studying, he's reading, he's gaining knowledge, and you guys are the mental people. But I feel like Archangel Raphael has shown up here today to like let you guys know that you guys can heal some of this stuff, this these past pains or mental anguish or other things that have maybe trapped you in the past, or it may be currently have you trapped because it is your prominent body and because you like trust your mind over the other, you know, bodies that compose a full human being. Archangel Raphael is here to help you heal that and to sort of soothe that and let you sort of unravel that mystery by bringing in some more of spirit, some more connection to spirit, which then would in turn allow you to relax and connect to human beings, which would bring more physical security, and you would balance that. Does that make sense? So I hope that makes sense to you guys. I hope that this was helpful and beneficial. It gives you guys just a little bit of an idea of what is your prominent body that you're working from. I believe in meditation, I've experienced the belief that we have 4 different prominent bodies. We have our mental, our emotional, our physical, and our spiritual. And so each of us operates a little bit more in one realm or the other. I was originally going to shoot this video and call it "Where is our clutter? In which body?" But I think that gives it a negative connotation. These bodies are gifts. These bodies are where we work from and what make us individual. We each have knowledge in each individual area because we live there prominently. So we have more experience with it, and we can help others that maybe have lack of experience with the area that we are in, and those people can help us to access parts of our body that we haven't utilized. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's a little esoteric, but it's definitely an idea that I wanted to get across in this pick a card. I hope you find it insightful. I hope you find it validating. Please let me know if you understand it or if you have any questions in the comments below. Please like it if you do like it. Please subscribe to the channel so that I can continue to make more, be inspired to continue to make more pick a cards and daily reads and all of that. Check out my taroscopes, and I look forward to doing this for you guys again. I have many ideas coming. Please have a great day. Bye.